Welcome to ACE, Animated Content for English, your gateway to mastering English through dynamic visuals and engaging content. See it, learn it, ace it. Welcome, everyone, to our exciting lesson on expository texts and visual-verbal relationships. Today, we will explore the world of expository texts, what they are, how they function, and why they are essential for presenting factual information. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how expository texts use visual aids like tables, graphs, and diagrams to clarify information and present it in a clear and organized manner. So let's get started. Let's start by understanding what an expository text is. Expository texts are a form of informational writing that aim to explain, describe, or clarify ideas to the reader. These texts are designed to present factual information in a clear, logical manner, making complex ideas easier to understand. Expository texts can be found in various places, such as textbooks, research articles, manuals, and scientific reports. Their purpose is to educate the reader by breaking down complicated topics into manageable, understandable pieces. For example, when reading a research article or a scientific report, the writer's goal is to present facts and data, allowing the reader to learn and understand the topic more deeply. Expository texts come in different forms depending on the purpose they serve. There are 5 main types of expository texts: description, sequence, comparison, cause and effect, and problem and solution. Let's begin by looking at the first type of expository text, description. Description expository texts describe a topic's features, characteristics, or examples in detail. For instance, consider the description of the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelago with over 7,000 islands, known for its rich culture and biodiversity. This type of text paints a vivid picture of the topic for the reader, making it easier to visualize and understand. Next, we have sequence expository texts. This type of text lists events or steps in order to show a process. For example, planting rice involves preparing the soil, planting seedlings, and managing water levels. Sequence texts are perfect for describing how something is done or how it happens step by step. Now, let's move on to the comparison type. Comparison expository texts highlight the similarities and differences between 2 or more subjects. For instance, consider the following. The Luzon and Mindanao Islands are 2 of the largest islands in the Philippines, but they differ significantly in geography and culture. This type of text is often used to help readers understand the differences and similarities between topics. The next type is cause and effect. Cause and effect expository texts explain why something happened and its outcomes. For example, frequent typhoons in the Philippines lead to widespread flooding and agricultural damage. This type of text helps the reader understand the relationship between events and their consequences. Lastly, we have problem and solution expository texts. This type of text identifies a problem and suggests solutions. For example, traffic congestion in Metro Manila has become a daily struggle for commuters. Solutions include new expressways and expanded public transportation networks. Problem and solution texts help readers understand the problem and explore possible ways to solve it. After knowing the 5 kinds of expository texts, let us now know why visual-verbal relationships are essential components of expository texts. They use visual elements like tables, graphs, and information maps alongside written text to present information in a clear and concise way. These visual aids support the text by illustrating complex data, highlighting comparisons, and making it easier for readers to interpret and retain information. In other words, visual aids complement the verbal content and enhance the reader's understanding of the subject. Now, let's look at some examples of visual aids used in expository texts and how they enhance understanding. Visual aids can take many forms, including tables, bar graphs, line graphs, pie charts, and more. Each type of visual aid is chosen based on the kind of information it represents. Tables organize data into rows and columns, making it easier to compare and analyze information. For example, a table showing average monthly rainfall in different regions of the Philippines allows readers to see and compare weather patterns at a glance. A bar graph is used to compare quantities using bars of different lengths. It's perfect for showing comparisons between categories, like the annual production of various agricultural products in the Philippines. A line graph shows changes over time by connecting data points with a line. It's often used to illustrate trends, like the rise and fall of tourist arrivals in the Philippines over the last decade. A pie chart displays parts of a whole as segments of a circle, making it easy to see proportions and distributions. It can show the distribution of different languages spoken in the Philippines. Other useful visual aids include flowcharts for processes, concept maps for organizing ideas, T-charts for comparisons, and timelines for showing events in chronological order. Each of these visuals supports the expository text in its unique way, enhancing comprehension and retention of information. Let's examine an example of an expository passage with visual support. This passage describes the rice production process in the Philippines. Rice is the staple food of the Philippines and is grown widely across the country's agricultural regions. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao are the primary producers of rice. The annual production of rice varies significantly between these regions due to differences in climate, soil quality, and farming practices. Another example is a passage explaining the impact of typhoons on agriculture in the Philippines. Frequent typhoons cause extensive damage to agricultural lands, particularly rice and coconut plantations. In 2020 alone, typhoons affected more than 150,000 hectares of farmland, leading to a significant decline in crop yields. A line graph can help visualize the extent of damage to agricultural land over the years, making it easier to understand how severe typhoons have been and their impact on agriculture. We've reached the end of our lesson. Today, we explored different types of visual aids used in expository texts and learned how they help us understand information better. Remember, using visuals like tables, graphs, and charts makes learning clearer and more engaging. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next lesson. ACE, Animated Content for English. See it, learn it, ace it.